I've been seeing everyone do these recent reads where every time they read 5 books, they talk about it, like 1 through 5 and then 6 through 10, and what it looks really cool. It looks easier that way. I feel as if I just talked about 5 books in a video, I wouldn't be as pressured to talk faster and to speed up what I'm saying if I had read more. So I think this idea is really cool, and yeah, I've seen it from a lot of people, and it might seem like I'm copying them, which I am, but I'm copying them in the best way possible because I love the idea, and instead of doing a wrap-up, I could do a recent reads. So we're gonna do this instead from now on, and let's just talk about the first 5 books I read in January. The Soul of an Octopus by Montgomery. This book is about a naturalist who studies animals, and she ends up studying octopuses because she finds them fascinating. So she visits quite a few aquariums, and over time she forms a really strong bond with quite a few different octopuses, and this is pretty much just her study of watching them and getting to know them and learning everything about them. I knew nothing about octopuses before I read this book, and now I know a crap ton. It's such an eye-opener because now I feel really bad if I were to ever eat them because they're such intelligent creatures. I am a pescatarian, so I eat fish every once in a great while, but I don't think I can eat these creatures again because they're so intelligent, smart, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. The only thing that I would say is that this book is said to be a surprising exploration into the wonder of consciousness of them. I didn't really see that so much as I guess I was told I would be. It was more just of her connection to these creatures, and it wasn't, you know, like, do these creatures have a consciousness? Like, what is their inner workings? Like, I don't know. But I really enjoyed it for what it was, and I would say if you are in the mood to learn about these creatures, definitely pick this up. It was a really fun read, and I enjoyed it a lot. And now I want to go visit my local aquarium, which is like 20 minutes away, and I want to go see them because after that I read More Than This by Ness. I had started reading this book a while ago. I read around 60 pages, but then I stopped reading it and I forgot about it, but I picked it back up because I was very much so enjoying it, and so I finished it. I have a lot of thoughts on this book, a lot of mixed thoughts, and I don't know. I know a lot of people love this book, but first, if you don't know, this book is about a boy who drowns and he dies, and then he wakes up, he remembers dying, and he's in his town, his hometown, but there's no one there. There's no one there except him. So he's confused and he's lost, and he doesn't know if he's like in purgatory or if he's like just stuck somewhere. He's just really confused, and it's you on this journey with him just to see if he's dead, if he's not dead. I went into this book thinking that it was going to be centered on the fact that he was dead and he needed to come to terms with his death and then, you know, move on and let go. But this book took a really big twist and a turn that I think was interesting, and I know a lot of people said they like it, but I personally did not like it. I thought it was weird and odd, and because of that it took away from the mysteriousness of this book for me a bit. I don't know, it's really hard to describe why I'm not the biggest fan of this book. My best friend read this book too, and she actually really liked it, but I am just like, no. I feel as if I'm the odd one out because I feel like I missed the big point of this book. I appreciate what it said, but I don't like the way it did it. I think my expectations were a little bit too high for this book, and they just weren't met, and because of that I'm a little sad, but it's okay. After that I reread my favorite book of all time, as I say all the time, and that is Meg by Steve Alten. This is a series about a prehistoric shark called the Megalodon that's extinct, but in this book it turns out that it's not extinct, and it rises to the surface, kills a lot of people, and then it has to be stopped by this guy, and a lot of crazy stuff. I've said this before and I will say this again, it's not a good book in the sense that the writing's beautiful, because it's not. The characters are a little bit flat, they're like typical cliche, and it's honestly, it's nothing special, but it is my favorite because it's so much fun and it's so ridiculous. You're reading something and you're like, what the like, what's going on? Why is that even possible? That's not possible. I love this book specifically for the what the fuck moments because it just has me on the edge of my seat. Just how is that even a thing? and it's wonderful and it's great, and I will forever love this book even though it's not the best. But you know what? This is going to be a movie. It's going to be filming very soon, and that has to say something. It's not completely crap. It's pretty good in some way or form, so if you like monster books, you should definitely read this book because I love it. After that, I read this book. What is this book, you may be wondering? It is The Picture of Dorian Gray. My cousin actually let me borrow this book. She actually just gave it to me and she was like, Erica, read this book. And when she gave it to me, I nodded my head and I said, yeah, cool, I'm so excited. But in my head, I was a little meh because The Picture of Dorian Gray, I honestly did not know much about this book, and it was a classic in my head. I was a little like pushed off, like, I don't want to read this, like, I'm not gonna like it. And then I read it, and oh my gosh, mind blown. I read this book in one sitting. It was that good. I really enjoyed it. If you don't know what The Picture of Dorian Gray is about, it's about a young man who has his portrait drawn. In some way, shape, or form, that portrait takes in his age so that he stays young forever while the portrait gets older of him. Does that make sense? I love Dorian Gray. I love how you get to see him get corrupted bit by bit. You see this nice person just completely flip 180 and turn into this dark and just sad human being. And I just really enjoyed it. I would definitely reread this book again and again and again. And then I watched the movie after, and the movie was a little bit ridiculous, but I did still enjoy it, so. And the last book in this video that I will be mentioning that I read is The Winter Ghost by Kate Moss. This was terrible. That's a little mean. But it was. This book is centered on a man in the early 1920s, and in the middle of a snowstorm while he's driving, he gets in a car accident and gets stranded. He walks to this little town that is obviously a ghost town, and he stays at this motel, and then he starts seeing ghosts, and then he has to help the ghosts and help them move on and whatnot. It was ridiculous. I was not a fan. The writing was really flat. All of a sudden he was in love with this ghost. Why? You've known her for 5 minutes and now you love her? And I just really did not like this. I would never recommend this book to anyone. Kate Moss, what are you doing? And those are the 5 books that I will be talking about for this video. If you guys have read any of these books, leave your thoughts and opinions down below. We can chit chat, you know what to do. And yeah, I'm gonna go, so I'll see you guys later. Bye!